Hey everyone, I'm Monita. How are you all going? And in today's video we are going to be talking about all of the books that I think will help you to reach your Goodreads reading goal or reading challenge if you are struggling. The first book I have is The Ice Dragon by George R.R. Martin. Short, tiny, sweet and simple. In Westeros, the Ice Dragon was a creature of legend and fear. When it flew overhead, it left in its wake desolate frozen land. No man had ever tamed one. Adara first glimpsed the Ice Dragon as she played in the snow long after the other children had fled the cold. But Adara was not afraid. She was a winter child born during the worst freeze that anyone could remember. In her 4th year she touched the dragon. In her 5th year she rode upon its back for the first time. Then in her 7th year, on a calm summer day, fiery dragons from the north swooped down upon the peaceful farm that was Adara's home, and only a winter child and the Ice Dragon who loved her could save her world from destruction. That's pretty much what the book is all about. There's illustrations throughout as well. So like you'll get pages of text and you'll get like illustrations. So it is a short book and you can get through it pretty quickly. It's like around 120 pages. So short, sweet, simple. It's a book that will keep you intrigued. I know it definitely did for me. I've read this book twice already, and it has definitely helped me get out of some sticky situations when I needed to feel accomplished or feel productive with my reading. This book helped me a lot. We then have another eeny-meeny book, The Grownup by Gillian Flynn. Is it Gillian or Gillian? I have a feeling it's Gillian. Anyway, this is a book about is she a sex worker? Yeah, she does some sex work on the side. She's a psychic or whatever. And she ends up babysitting. Wait, he is not 15. He is not 15. That kid is younger. Okay, so like I said, there is a apparent psychic. Like she's faking it as a psychic, our protagonist. And she's doing some illegal sex work on the side. And she is tasked with then babysitting a son. And that is what I remember. She ends up babysitting for this 15-year-old son who I thought was much younger. I'm gonna have to reread it again because I thought this kid was like around 7 or 8, but no, he's like 15. Anyway, I'm gonna move on from that now. There is some supernatural elements in this book, and it was written so well. It is, if I get to the damn page, it's under 80 pages. Under 80 pages, you should be able to get through it in an afternoon or a day, depending on how fast you read. It'll keep you guessing. It'll keep you turning the pages. It's just a really, really good book. And I really want Gillian Flynn to write more books because her books, I love her books. They're so dark. There's one more book I have to read from her, but I'm kind of putting off on that because once I read that book, there's no more Gillian Flynn books. The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I have also read this book twice and has gotten me out of some sticky situations when I felt like I had to read something and I wasn't productive enough with my reading. This pretty much follows about gang rivals, the Greases and the Socks. And I just love this book. It's so important. It definitely reflects today's society as well. And I think this should be recommended reading. It's just very, very good, well written. I really enjoy the characters. It talks a lot about people of all social backgrounds have issues, and that could not be more true. And I think this is the only S.E. Hinton book as well. I don't think she's written anything else. Just over 215 pages. It's like 216 pages. It's really good. Like the chapters are a decent length. I think they are anyway. I'm flicking through it and I'm not seeing chapters. Oh, there we are. It's a really good book. It's 216 pages and it talks a lot about just because one person is from a different background than you doesn't mean that they don't have issues. Everyone has issues. We're no different from each other. We're really not. We're pretty much the same. There are some touching moments in here and some moments that actually made me sob a little bit, and it's good. I really enjoy it. It's a shame that there's only one book from this author. Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe. This is a young adult book, and I do not like this cover. Look how shiny it is. I love the matte covers. Anyway, it pretty much follows two teenage boys who have a budding romance, and deals a lot with your identity, your family, where you come from. It's like a slice of life and finding who you are. 360-ish pages, but the chapters are so short. Flicking through it, there is actually quite a bit of dialogue, and I find that dialogue really helps to keep a story moving. There is a sequel, but I did not like the sequel very much. I had issues. Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. Another short one. Is like 200 pages long. Yeah, it's like around 255 pages long, but it really bounces back and forth between timelines, between different eras. You get the past, you get the very far future, you get the near future. The chapters are short, which is really good because I like short chapters. It's actually so intriguing how it all interconnects. The book, like, it does jump around a little bit and you're thinking, what is the point of this? The plot of this book is that there is a person who was walking in a forest. Next thing you know, he hears violin music. It's very eerie, very random, very weird. Someone then decides to investigate this anomaly and to see what the heck is happening. Like I have said, it does jump back and forth between the past, the present, and the future. And it does all interconnect. And it also has a connection with, which book? I think it's Station 11. I think Station 11, Glass Hotel, and this one as well all interconnect in some way with little Easter eggs throughout those three books. Like, I was a little confused in the beginning. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, where it was going to go. It did pull through. I really enjoyed it. A very fast read for me. I nearly read this in one day, in one sitting, so it'll definitely, hopefully, fingers crossed for you, hopefully it will be a fast book for you to get through to hit your reading goal. Piranesi by Susanna Clarke, and I just love this edition so much. It's a bit of a weird one, this book, and it's a bit hard to tell you what it's about. Piranesi lives in the house, perhaps he always has. In his notebooks, day after day, he makes a clear and careful record of his wonders. The labyrinth of halls, the thousands upon thousands of statues, the tides that thunder up staircases, the clouds that move in slow procession through the upper halls. On Tuesdays and Fridays, Piranesi sees his friend the Other. At other times, he brings tributes of food and water lilies to the dead, but mostly he is alone. Messages begin to appear, scratched out in chalk on the pavements. There is someone new in the house, but who are they and what do they want? Are they a friend, or do they bring destruction and madness as the Other claims? Lost texts must be found, secrets must be uncovered. The world that Piranesi thought he knew is becoming strange and dangerous. The beauty of the house is immeasurable, its kindness infinite. This book is another short one. Why do some books have so many pages? All of those pages are blank. What is with that? I don't understand. 245 pages. I do think it is a quick read because you are trying to figure out what is happening. You are actually figuring it out along with the main protagonist, Piranesi. So you're figuring out things as he is. It's weird, it's wacky, it's wonderful. I've not heard a single bad thing about this book. A lot of people have really enjoyed it, myself included, and it'll keep you wanting to turn the pages to figure out what the heck is happening. And there's like a trope in here that I absolutely really enjoy, and it's just so well done. So incredible, fast-paced. Well, I feel like it's fast-paced, and I think you will also have a good time with it. Feed Them Silence by Mandelo. It is about a scientist by the name of Sean, and she is a scientist who is... She's created this interface that will put her in the mind of a wolf, the last American grey wolf. It'll put her into the mind of a wild animal to see what they feel, what they think, their emotions, and it was a really good book. I think this is Mandelo's best book to date. I don't know how many pages it is exactly, but it is a short book. I had a great time with it. I was so invested in the story and the characters. I wanted to see what was going to happen. Seeing the psychological and emotional effects that this interface has on people, it was really well done. And another part of the plot of this book as well is that the more that someone uses this interface to connect with the wolves, the more damage it can do to you, and it has negative side effects. And so the company that is investing in this piece of technology have said to Sean, you gotta stop. She doesn't, and then consequences happen after that. It's short, it's simple. The technology in this book is not dense or complicated. It's easy to understand. It's very fascinating. It is set in the near future. I think it's like set in 2030 or something, so very soon, very close. Sour Candy by Kealan Patrick Burke. This one was really awesome. I think it's like over 100 pages or like under 200 pages or maybe even around that 200 page mark. And this one pretty much follows a demon child who finds a man in a supermarket and says, you are my daddy now. This one was fast-paced, interesting as all heck, and the ending, oh, that ending, I loved that ending. Yeah, I had a great time. Like I said, it was fast-paced. It was enjoyable. I really enjoyed the writing. It kept me intrigued. I was wanting to know what was going to happen to this main character who is now a daddy of sorts to a demon child. It was a good fun time. Comfort Me with Apples by Catherynne and Valente. This is another short horror book kind of thing. Is it really a horror book? I don't feel like it is, but it does put a bit of a spin on a particular story that I feel like a very large majority of people would know of. And it kind of puts a different spin on it, and it is very well done. The plot is that there is this woman who has the perfect husband, the perfect neighborhood, the perfect house, and then things start to get a little bit weird because her neighborhood and her neighbors are starting to look at her a little bit suspiciously. Her husband isn't paying her attention. Her husband's been gone away for a while, and when he comes back he gets a little impatient, a little snappy. The way it built up to the finale and the way it built up to that plot twist, to the reveal of what the story is about, was very well done. And it's fast-paced. It kept me on the, I heard a weird noise. It kept me on the edge of my seat. It kept me turning the pages. I was really wanting to know what was going to happen. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I'm specifically talking about the first book because I read it in like 2 days, pretty much. I was just like on the edge of my seat. So I feel like a lot of us know, or a lot of you know, what Throne of Glass is about. It follows Selena Sadothian. She is apparently a very well-known assassin. She has been captured and placed in the salt mines of Endovia. A guard to the king comes up to her, or the son to the king, I can't remember which one. Anyway, someone close to the king says to her, I got a proposition for you to make. You have a chance to become the king's champion. You got a bunch of tournaments and a bunch of training to do to become the king's champion. And if you do, you will become free, but you got to work for the king. She says, why not? Because it's better than being in here. And she will do whatever it takes to get out of the salt mines of Endovia. And like I said, I read it in 2 days. I was so on the edge of my seat. It was so well done. I really enjoyed it. My first book by Sarah J. Maas as well, and for me, it did not disappoint. And I had a blast with it. It was so fun and fast-paced as well. There was like one scene in particular towards the end. I was so anxious, I could not read that chapter. I was like quite literally pacing back and forth, putting off reading that chapter because I was so nervous and anxious for what was going to happen. It was so good. Where am I going? This way. Those are the books. I forgot to mention, any comic book or manga or graphic novel will do as well because they usually don't take long, but it depends if you have, well, it depends on what edition you have, but I find manga, graphic novels, comic books, they're pretty easy to read, so any one of those will help you contribute to your Goodreads reading goal, reading challenge, whatever it's called. Thank you very much for watching. I kind of stumbled a little bit, and this is completely my fault, but I found it a little bit difficult to exactly pinpoint what will make a book help you. Like the books that I mentioned in this video, it was kind of a little difficult for me to pinpoint exactly what I think will, like what is special about the book that will help you fly through it quickly and finish your reading goal, because it's so, I don't want to say personal, but it's so, there's different perspectives, you know, people have different tastes in books, but those are the ones I'm kind of recommending for you to read if you are interested. Let me know if you have any other short books that will help other people read their Goodreads reading goal. I would like to know as well for myself, and I will see you in another video. Bye for now.